Georgia has a new president. On October the 27th, on national scale, almost 1,700,000 voters participated in presidential elections, which makes almost 47% of registered electorate. Our compatriots who live abroad proved to be rather passive voters. A little over 3,500 of them took part in the elections, which amounts to 7.5% of total number of election participants who voted for their chosen candidate. Giorgi Margvelashvili, philosopher by profession, candidate of political coalition Georgian Dream, was elected the fourth president of Georgia in the presidential elections of 2013. International organizations and observer missions acknowledged the results of elections and assessed the process as one more step towards democracy in Georgia. In 3 weeks after the elections, the space in front of the old building of Parliament in Tbilisi will become the venue of main political event. The fourth president of Georgia will take the oath in front of the former Parliament building. The expenses connected with new president's inauguration will be specified shortly. According to Nodar Khadouri, Minister of Finance of Georgia, they have set up a special commission which will calculate the inauguration expenses. The finance minister says that in view of the fact that President's reserve fund is used up, the Georgian government will have to cover the inauguration and overhead expenses. List of the guests invited to the inauguration ceremony will come to public knowledge in the nearest future. In the words of the Minister of Foreign Affairs of Georgia, Special Commission is working on the issues of inauguration, which will make up the list of invited guests. At the first post-election press conference, President-elect Giorgi Margvelashvili declared that serious work will have to be carried out in the sphere of the country's economy. How would the elections that were conducted against the background of stable environment affect the development of Georgian economy? According to the assessment of the Vice President of the Chamber of Commerce and Industry, positive tendencies of last year's parliamentary elections continue. They have already influenced economic activities. He believes that the eliminated doubts regarding democratic institutions in Georgia will promote investments on part of foreign as well as local investors.
Presidential election was one more step towards democracy. It contributed to the improvement of investment environment, making it attractive for local as well as foreign investors.
Emzar Jgeranaya, professor of Tbilisi State University, thinks that political stability is directly connected with the growth of investments. He believes that the factor of peaceful and democratic presidential elections eliminated the main obstruction that was constraining the economic processes. Meanwhile, Paata Shashalidze, president of New Economic School, considers that the factor that promotes business development is not just democratically performed elections, but mostly the newly formed economic liberties and scaled down economic regulations. Representatives of International Monetary Fund touched upon the serious influence of political processes on economic situation. One of its key recommendations has been the elimination of political risks. The fund touched upon the serious influence of political processes on economic situation. One of its key recommendations has been the elimination of political risks.